discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, this video is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering you a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial membership. All you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/BG The link is in the description below, and now enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and I am super excited to say that I'm starting a solo series for Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. Yes, I finally got my copy of Wave 1 stuff, and I am greatly anticipating everything else, but this should do for now. So what I have decided to do for the very first episode, just to get it up and ready for you guys, is to do the tutorial. There's not a title for it, but they come with a tutorial, and I was like, you know what better way to jump into this? And for the record, the tutorial does not touch the actual campaign and things like that. It's literally just kind of a step-by-step kind of to get you to learn the basics of the game. But I like to do how to plays for games, and for the record, this is going to go up before I get the other ones, but I am planning on doing a how to play for Gloomhaven, Folklore, and Kingdom Death Monster. Those are just really difficult games to do so, and so this one is kind of going to be a how to play and a learning thing. So we'll kind of learn together and just get this up into the on the channel for you guys. So very excited, and this is going to be an awesome game. I can already tell Awakened Realms has hardly ever disappointed me. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So everything's already set up. I'm not going to bog you down with that stuff. But some of the fun little tidbits that were in this thing is kind of the explanations of the different types of characters. There are 4 characters in the game. One is Beor, is the local smith known for his short temper. He does his best to conceal a festering, unhealable wound in his side received under mysterious circumstances. Basically, the 4 characters are kind of the B team. They're the ones that weren't good enough to join the main party of champions in this world. So that's Beor. Then there's Ailey, an outcast whose entire family perished in the Wyrdness. She makes a modest living supplying healing herbs and roots to the locals. Hey! Maggot is a renegade of the Druidic Order whose innate powers are curbed by his destructive addiction to hallucinogenic mixtures and mushrooms. Yeah, I mean, I just assume all druids are insane for any reason, and in any type of like RPG druids, like in like D&D, they're just disgusting, caked in just shit. It's basically like Radagast with the bird shit on his head, and it's like, yeah, dude, you know what you're doing. But druids are also really powerful. A Rev is a simple farmer who is with a not-so-simple past. He used to be a mercenary who bloodied his hands one too many times, and now a mysterious curse follows him. And in this, we play as Beor, so the local blacksmith with the wound that is disgusting. So he has a special ability called Craft. He can draw 3 random craftable items and pick one, only whenever he's in a settlement. And then he has a festering wound. He loses 1 health every time that we become exhausted. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and read the opening thing. They still call this place a farmhold, even though barren fields provide little food and crumbling walls offer no protection. The last relic of the glory days of Connacht is its menhir, always adorned with red ribbons, lit by candles, and with a daily offering at its gnarled feet. As long as the menhir repels the Wyrdness, the townsfolk are ready to endure anything. But last night the Wyrdness came closer than ever. A man was lost, following the call of his future self. A house on the outskirts of town has turned inside out, its furniture grown into the bloated outer shell, like barnacles on the side of a boat. For many hours the air tasted of metal and sour milk. Now people say your guardian menhir is failing, like many others all over the land. For you, the night was even worse. The festering wound in your side throbbed as if something tried to tear itself free and join the rolling clouds of Wyrd outside of town. In the morning, a boy comes running to your shack. Master Airfear! Master... This could be one of those games. Master Airfear needs to see you. Move, you big goof! So you just... What you say to me? Backhand him with this massive-ass hammer we're wielding. You chase the brat away with a well-aimed throw of a boot and immediately start to regret it as the boot lands in a deep puddle outside your door. Ugh, so I just stupid boot, stupid kids, stupid wound. You can see this. I don't know who I'm going to play whenever I start the actual campaign. So basically it's different just parts of the story, and so basically, start of the day. It's now dawn. Bior is ready to start his journey. Perform your first start of the day routine following the order listed on the green help card. So this is the green help card. They have 3: one for combat overview, one an icon glossary, and one for the order of the day, which is pretty neat. But first thing I gotta show, if you haven't checked my unboxing, definitely do so. But this is the Menhir that I decided to put in here because it's actually a hollow. It has a beacon like bowl inside it, and that's like one of the very first like miniatures that I've seen that I can think of that have like it's hollowed but with things inside it. So that's just, oh no, the Menhir went out, we died. So this is set to 8, which means that that's kind of like the days that it that it has left before it goes out. And this is Bior right there. This is Bior. So massive hammer. Let's see. So I'm in Connacht Farmhold, and that I can spend 1 energy. So there's different icons. You have your energy, your health, and your terror. And your health is kind of like your max, which nothing can ever go above your max, which is actually pretty neat based off this little like T thing that covers like, okay, well, this is where your health goes, this is your max health, and then it bars everything else. So you can never have energy more than your health, and you can never have terror more than your health. But as your terror goes up, then you then you go insane, and as your health goes all the way down, so the lower your health, the less energy you have, and the less terror you can have. But he loses a health every time he becomes exhausted, which is around here. So I essentially start with 6, and if I go down to 1, then he'll get damaged. And I really don't want that. And if his terror goes up, he goes insane. Anyway, so the start of the day is remove the expired Menhirs and discard locations that are out of the Menhir range. Reduce all time and Menhir dials, remove time tokens, reveal the next event card, move guardians, and pick active item and secret cards. So let's take a look at what this has to say. The card first asks you to remove expired Menhirs and locations out of the Menhir range. The only Menhir on the map has a dial. It's not expired. It has 8 on it. And all revealed locations are adjacent to this Menhir. We don't discard them because it is shining just enough for us to be able to see the other areas. Now reduce the Menhir dial by 1. And what's neat about this octagon shape is like I can easily rotate it and not have to worry about it like having a ticker. It could have easily done dials, but I like that. The help card also mentions time tokens, but there are none in play now. So in a standard game, we would now reveal an event card, but this tutorial has its own event card. Quest, speak with Connacht's blacksmith, Airfear. Thought I was the blacksmith. Hint, to meet Ephri, you have to explore the Connacht Farmhold location, which is... I'm on the Farmhold. So, to do a first exploration, after start of the day, characters may perform actions. Each action in Tainted Grail is marked with a special icon that also shows an energy cost. As his first action, Bayor should visit Ephri. To do so, explore the Connacht Farmhold location. To initiate this action, pay 1 energy, move the marker down, and that's that. And a standard game, exploration would direct you to text on the other side of the location card, but this tutorial won't spoil any stories from the campaign. Instead, go to the tutorial exploration journal printed on the last page of the exploration journal. There, find the appropriate section and start reading. So, obviously, that's exactly what I'm going to do. But what you can do is all these cards have something on there. So they are double-sided. When you do explore the location and things can happen. Obviously, like I said, we're not going to be spoiling anything here, so I am going off of just what this is going to do. But you could, for example, do chores for the townsfolk, cost an energy, so I would go down from 6 to 5, and I can gain a reputation once per day, which is, hey, that just goes in my reputation. which isn't terrible. I easily could do that. And and there's also flavor text on each of these. So the farmhold, its history as vast as its graveyard, its future as empty as its houses. Lovely. I think I would love to live here. Funny enough, so I obviously live in a house that has board games is kind of a archaic hobby. I don't view it that way, but a lot of people would, compared to TV or video games or anything on the internet. And it's interesting. I have a weird dream of mine that I would love to live on like a farm, like out in nowhere, but still like with land and it's not even so much that I don't want to be a farm person. I just like the idea of the seclusion, away from all that. And just, but still have internet and just be like, peace. Like, it'll just be like, you hear that? I know. Isn't it bliss? It's just, it's weird. But anyway, that's a tangent that I'm not gonna go on. But here's the massive exploration journal. So, alright, it's right here. Okay. So, exploration journal entries for most locations in Tainted Grail start with an introduction that leads to your decisions. Read the location introduction first. So, read the location introduction first. Well, so now, pay 1. So, yep, I am going to visit Ephrier, and I'm going to explore the location, spending one energy to do so. These fit like just enough. And then, pay 1, move the marker. Okay, so find the appropriate section, 101. Okay, a deep feeling of loss pervades Connacht from dilapidated farms. To the sunken eyes of those who remain in town. Hey, the Menhir in the market is nearly extinguished. Still, this place is the only home you ever knew. What's terrifying about this is that this is like, that it's dying, and like obviously we as a game mechanic know 8 days from now it'll go out, and it's like that's just the encroaching darkness is like, hey guys, we want to keep this beacon up. Like, shouldn't we have a rotation or something? It just reminds me of the bonfires from Dark Souls. So now you're ready to choose what to do in this location. Below are 2 options redirecting you to different paragraphs. Each has a requirement. The first time you come here, you are only able to choose the first option because the second one requires a specific part of a status marked on your tutorial save sheet. If you are here for the second time, you should already have part 2 of the required status. So, clearly, I have to speak with my master. Okay, great. He's the blacksmith. I'm still a blacksmith, but he's my master. Only if you don't have any part of the surprising errand status, go to verse 1. Great. The second one would be to complete the mission. So, let's see how this writing is. Urfir is up earlier than usual. As you enter, he hides a large pack behind a curtain and turns to you with a wide smile. You here, lad? Good. Hope you're ready to stretch your legs a bit. I hear a star fell near Whitening, and a local tanner picked it up. It's a solid ingot, large as a dinghy head. I'd rather not have it fall into the hands of some other smith. You nod. Falling stars are a bad omen for most simple folk, but they always excite blacksmiths and armorers. After all, the legendary Excalibur was forged from one of these cold shards of distant skies. Love that this is in the Arthurian legends, and it's a twist, because not a lot of games have that. Soon, you depart, walking down the sloping fields towards the mist-covered forest, with some rations, your trusty hammer, and a purse of silver Urfir gave you. Before stepping into the shadow of the trees, you take one last look back at the ancient statue towering above shacks and houses. How much longer can this tired old thing protect Connacht? Gain part 1 of the surprising errand status. Gain 1 wealth. Exploration ends. Yay, I got more money! Woo! You have gained your first story-related task. Mark it on your tutorial save sheet or write it down on a piece of paper. Bior also gains 1 wealth. Take 1 universal marker and place in the well. I already did that. After that exploration ends, you should return to the game. Awesome. So they do have save sheets. I didn't grab one, so I'll just write it down. Write it down on my. As I drop everything. Cool. I'll just do my little memo pad, even though I'm pretty sure this is a journal. Like I'm like almost 100%. I don't even know what that's. Oh, I know what that was for. All right, so tutorial. So I got the. That's a different thing. I don't want to read that. I got, what was it that I got? Surprising errand status. Yay! Okay. Surprising errand status. It's like, dude, what? I mean, I guess he's my master, so can't really backtalk him. Alright, so that was that. So now, we go to part 3, travel. Your exploration is now finished and you have a new task. It's time to start moving Bjor towards his destination, the cursed farmhold known as the Whitening. As you know from the exploration journal, the Whitening is northeast of your village. To plan the journey, let's study all revealed locations. So here they are. I will actually show you guys the so this is like what the card looks like. So there's a lot of detail here. I actually haven't looked at it myself. So there's not as much to look at here as there are for like 7th Continent, for example, where it's like, oh man, is there a secret number? But I do very much like the artwork and the overarching, like, I don't know. I really like this card flipping mechanic, and like, yeah, right in the middle is the Menhir. I don't remember anymore. It is Menhir. Okay, so to the east is the Charred Conclave, a dangerous place that will trigger an automatic encounter as soon as Bjor enters it. So because it has a lightning bolt, draw a gray encounter card when you enter this location. Ooh, I might just do that just to see what happens. The north is Hunter's Grove, a place where Bjor can gather some food. This looks better, doesn't it? Well, yeah, I can go there and spend 2 energy to gain 2 food and draw a green encounter. That's pretty neat. And I mean, it's not like it looks. So, well, here's the Charred Conclave. So, I mean, it looks like that's a min. I don't know what the hell it is. Looks like it's some sacrificial altar that was burned. Hell yeah. Then the Hunter's Grove has. I'm sure I could get some food. I don't know if I'd want to eat it, considering the fact that that's a giant skull. But you never know. I don't know how often, like, how important food is. I know it's really important in 7th Continent. So perform the travel action and move Bjor to Hunter's Grove. Okay. So, travel action. Boom. Does this even, Oh, there are actions. Okay. So on the back, you can explore for 1, travel for 1, a location action, depending on what the action is. Inspect a menhir. You may perform this only in locations with the menhir icon. You can do a character, secret, or item action, depending on what it is, or you can just pass. You can't perform any actions till the start of the next day. Alright, so I paid the 1, and I will move to Hunter's Grove. Hey! Don't know why. I thought I was supposed to go to the... Where was I supposed to go? I already forgot. Well, move in there. As you arrive there, check if there are any locations connected to Hunter's Grove that you could reveal. You may reveal any locations that are. So connected to your current locations with direction keys, the numbers on the edges of the card. So direction key is like, so that says 100, that tells you just on the edge. In range of an active menhir, they are adjacent either in a straight line or diagonally to a location with a menhir model. In this case, I can attach number 106 over here. Ooh, that's not something I want. Oh, I can go on a treasure hunt. And then the Whitening. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. So, and you can still see all that. Fantastic. Both meet the criteria mentioned above. Do not attach location 113 to the top of Hunter Grove, as it would be too far from your only menhir. So, In range of the active, they are adjacent either in a straight line or Oh, okay. Okay. To the active Menhir. So basically anything that surrounds it, but like anything further. Alright. Alright. Now, Bior's new location has an action. Gather food. Food is an important resource that you consume at the end of each day. So, don't starve. So, gathering more won't hurt. To activate the location action, pay its cost. I don't want to. That costs me 2 energy. And I gain 2 food. Take 2 markers and place them on the food slot. Hey, boom. So now I have 5 food. I have a lot of food. And because I did that, it told me to draw 1 green encounter. So normally there are 4 decks of encounter cards. In this case, for the tutorial, there's only 1 from each. So I will draw the first encounter. And great! It's a mist-shaped vermin right there. I was like, what? I thought it was like a bear. If it was a bear, I'm like, I'm probably dying. So this can be exciting. Mist-shaped vermin. So encounter value, I need that many, I guess, red to win. Attribute keys, place the first card I play there along the side. The combat pool, put everything gained there. And you can't call yourself a true adventurer until you've killed one. So the combat table. Well, I can run away, but I could gain food for killing it. So, first combat. I'll just put that there. Read the encounter card carefully. To win, you need to gather a number of markers in the combat pool equal to or higher than the encounter value. To gain these markers, you play combat cards from your hand. Prepare 2 help cards. 1 with the combat overview and 1... Oh, okay. Got the combat overview. And diplomacy icons. So, diplomacy on... There's diplomacy and combat. Now let's go through your first combat step by step following the combat overview. If you want to know more, I can find detailed descriptions of all cards. I'm not going to, so I'm going to draw 3 from the combat deck. And for the record, you don't shuffle these. It tells you every time. You don't have to check the encounter's trait. It has none, and you don't need to pick an active character. You're alone, so only Bior can activate. You can also ignore the delayed ability step. There aren't any abilities in play. So time to fight! I am fighting this rat. So, play the... Okay, so I have some... Okay, so I have some cards here. I have Ignore Pain. So I guess I just like catch a blade. I'm just like, I don't... I would never catch a sword. There's Reposition. So, and this artwork is fantastic. And then there is Attack. Like that. So... This obviously tells me everything I need to do, but it's just to help, like, just the basics real quick. So, it says, play the attack card, attach it to the right edge of the encounter card as seen above. So, place the first card played here. So, basically, like, this is how, I guess, you would do it. You guys see that? Well, not really. So, basically, over here, I would play it like that. That's the card that I chose to play. Well, that's the card that they chose. This causes both halves of the lion key and the bottom golden key to join. So like this. Okay. So yeah, so I guess up at the top is the lion key being fulfilled, and then on the bottom with my thumb is the golden key. So basically, how does that work? So, you may only connect keys with an attribute icon if you have this attribute. So, Bior has 2 aggression, okay, because that's how he was set up. Oh, I don't have him up there, but he has 2 aggression on his left side. And grants me the bonus. I place 1 in my combat pool. I don't know what the hell the combat pool is, but it might just be like a pool in general. So I'll just place it on my guy. Okay, the golden bottom key always connects and has no requirements, so I place 1 more in the combat pool. Now let's check the text of the attack card. It has 2 abilities. The first ability causes all enemy attacks to deal 1 more damage. The second, I think that's a damage, that little slice and dice. It's funny enough, it's not actually... I'm assuming that's wounds. Oh, damage. Okay, I was right. So, it's a little slash icon. The second ability instructs you to place a timer on the attack card. The ability itself will be resolved during the next delayed ability step unless you cover it up with another card first. Okay, so each turn you may play only one card, plus as many additional cards as you can connect using their lightning bonus. So that bonus is okay, so the bonus action. Okay. This means any further cards you play this turn require you to connect the bonus actions. Interesting. So, yep, okay, that's what I was thinking. Because I have the ignore pain, so essentially because of this, monsters will deal one more wound. That monster icon is enemy attack or response, a little circle skull. And then the timer I would place on there, and the other icons are over there. But over time, I get to draw a card. So each turn, I guess you may only play one card, plus as many additional cards as I can, connecting using their bonus cards. And so the one that's about to have me play, which I was looking at, was the play ignore pain, and contains a bonus that connects to the boar. And the boar is courage, and then the snake is practicality. And this is all because there's two decks. You have a combat deck, and a diplomacy deck, which I'm assuming you connect stuff doing the exact same thing, but then there's combat. So I guess I could play it like that to ignore the pain. Before placing this card, I remove the timer from attack. Delayed abilities won't trigger if you cover them up, and you should never place cards on top of tokens or markers. So, would that mean that if that goes away, I get to draw? I guess I'll find out. Great. So, Ignore Pain has two other keys, which, based off of this, to the attack card, like that, I finish a key there, and I finish a key there, and these always connect on the bottom. So, well, this is pretty interesting, the fact that you're connecting these icons, and they have abilities. So, Ignore Pain. The blue magic key requires one magic to be connected. I do not have any magic at the moment, so I cannot connect it, which is the bottom. Like, magic is actually a thing here, kind of like the food, wealth, and reputation and experience. Then that would be that bottom one. But I do have the top one. So the free key contains a bonus icon, so I draw one card. Hey! Ooh! That's pretty neat. Alright. So, Ignore Pain also contains a text ability. Just like attack's ability, it triggers during the enemy's attack step. And that one is I gain a cube for every wound that I get. So that is that. Then it's time for the enemy attack. Oh, a quick victory check shows that Bjorn didn't win yet. He has 2 markers in the combat out of the required 4 based off of the rat. This albino rat. The misshaped vermin. Remember at the top it needed 4. That's how much I needed to win. So I've essentially attacked it and ignored pain, which gave me the 2 that I needed. I'll just put those there. Great. So now the enemy attacks. In Tainted Grail, each enemy has many different moves depending on the value of the combat pool. Bjorn currently has 2 markers in the combat pool. So we check the combat table. The attack for 0 to 2 markers. Oh, okay, so down here at the bottom. Great. So 0 to 2 down at the very bottom here, like that. 0 to 2 is deals 1 wound. If I had 3 or more, I would lose 1. So, because I have 2, where is it? Oh, yeah. Check the combat table. The attack for 0 to 2 marker deals 1 damage. So move Bjorn's health track 1 slot down. So that whole slot. That's not all. Bjorn's Ignore Pain card modifies the enemy attack. It instructs you to add a marker for every point of damage received. So now I get a 3rd one. During the end of turn, I must discard until you have 3 cards in hand. So since I only have 2, this doesn't apply. I now draw 1 card. Okay. Interesting, interesting. That's pretty neat. So, that was just one combat turn. Basically, you are trying to match these symbols to be able to match with the aggression and then the courage and practicality. I thought I matched that because it's a bonus, but yeah. So that's that. And then, because I guess you can play one card and as many bonus cards. So it looks like the next turn begins. I could finish this battle quickly by playing Powerful Blow, but that would mean losing an energy, which I actually only have 2 energy left. I would go into Exhausted, and I would take a wound because I got exhausted because of my festering wound. My nasty thing that has... I'm sure it's like a chest burster. It's probably some disgusting thing that will come up in the actual game. So, its free key contains... Let's see, where was it? Oh yeah, but so they say to start with Battle Cry. Woo! Its free key contains a draw card, so I will play Battle Cry like that. I don't have any magic. It's a bonus, and I can play as many as I want, so I'm connecting those, meaning I would get to draw a card. Awesome! Then, you have now drawn the perfect card to end this encounter. These are obviously stacked. So, it has the bonus icon in its aggression key. Additionally, its free key gives you 1 more. So, like, flip over 1 weapon or shield you're using to gain 2. This item is inactive until the end of combat. So basically, that's what it looks like. That looks pretty freaking sweet. So now, I would get to play that. So I didn't connect anything, but it is still a free one. And down at the bottom, it is the free key down at the bottom gives me a 4th one. So, perform the victory check. There are 4 markers in the combat pool, which means Bjor's won! Yay! So thematically, I saw this, I guess, giant thing. Straight up attacked it with my hammer. It went to bite me. I just ignored the pain. Then I did and then I threw my hammer, and it crushed it. Shredded it. So, that's that. I kind of like that. I like how you have to, you have to attach things, and you thematically, I guess, you could there's your linear thing of how you fought it instead of trying to remember everything you did. That's pretty neat. So, since I won, its loot is 1 food. So now I have 6 food. I have a lot of food. Then we put the defeated encounter card at the bottom of its deck, which in this case is, there is no deck. Because I guess there's not a whole lot, there's not a discard pile. Things just go at the bottom, and some cards get removed from the game completely. Return all played, drawn, or discarded cards to your combat deck and shuffle it. Okay. Hey everyone, this video is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering you a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. All you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/BG Unlocked and browse the unmatched selection of audio programs, which include audiobooks, original audio shows, news, comedy, and more from leading audiobook publishers. What I do is I actually download their app, which enables me to be able to listen to the Wheel of Time series, which is phenomenal if you're looking for a huge fantasy world. But if fantasy isn't your thing, well, you can also do romance, fiction, teens, nonfiction, comedy, science and technology, and many, many more. All you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/BG Unlocked. The link is in the description below, and now enjoy the rest of the video. And shuffle the deck. Alright. If you want to, you may play this encounter again, ignoring any health or losses to familiarize yourself with combat mechanics. If you're not sure about any of the rules, obviously I'm going to be reading... It said shuffle the deck, so let's I'm sure there's not going to be any more combat in this tutorial because it says you can do it again, but in all reality I could fight it again and just draw 4 cards and see how I would fare against it, but it seems relatively straightforward, mainly just because of the icons. That's probably going to be the more, okay, do I need, because my courage, he only has 1 courage, so it's okay, do I gain anything for that? And I think so. Well, And that's where I'm not entirely sure, because you have these arrows. So he has a courage up and then a courage left. Aggression is, well, not quite sure what if you need 2 or 1, or if you do better if you have both. So didn't quite go over that. He just had severe aggression. And all these cards are sleeved. It's so nice. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I used to be those guys that would be like, no, I'll never sleeve my cards, but I think I'm gonna get there. I think that's good. I sleeved everything for Smash Up. I have everything for Smash Up. I sleeved everything for for Arkham Horror LCG. I will most likely get in the process of sleeving everything for Marvel Legendary. Basically any deck, any game that requires a lot of shuffling. Anyway, so that was the second combat turn. That was really, really neat. Then it comes to ending the day. Bior is wounded and only has 2 energy left. If you look at the energy track, slots marked as 1 and 0 are red and have the exhausted sign. For now, you don't want Bior to become exhausted, so you should rest. So you do a pass action. It ends your game day, so rest and eat. We have to eat, discard 1 food marker from the tray, gains 1 health. Woo! So he goes up in health. He doesn't lose any terror, as his terror is already 0. Restore Bior's energy to full, which is 6. And you don't have any experience points, so you can't advance your character. You also don't have any upgrade cards to modify your dex with. Great. You're in a location with the knight symbol, so in a normal game, you would now open the exploration journal of this location and look for the dream. Interesting. In this tutorial, read the dream from the tutorial journal instead. Look at the correct section of the tutorial. So we are in Hunter's Grove, which is on the back here. And there's a dream section. Oh, that's neat. That's neat. So if you have dreams in areas, things happen. So here's Hunter's Grove. As you walk into the shadow of the Valley of Death, you fear no evil, for thou art with me. As you walk into the shadow of the Hunter's Grove, your heart beats faster and your wound burns. You died not far from here, 2 weeks ago, though it took some time for you to realize that. You try hard to not think about those events, humming your favorite tune to chase away the memories. I'm sorry, what? What was that? I died? I died there? Huh. Well, so since that has a dream icon, I get to dream. In your dream, you return to the dark ravine deep in the grove. Like many others, you search for a little girl who went missing in Connacht. Instead, you find a mass of what look like tangled black snakes crawling across the moss-covered stone. The mass rises on countless black legs and rushes at you. For a split second, you see the horrific truth. What charges you is a malformed, overgrown, beating heart on countless legs of blackened veins and arteries. It opens its circular maw full of lamprey-like teeth. Next moment is on top of you, ripping into your side and trying desperately to push itself into your chest. With all your strength, you pull it away from the wound, throw it to the ground, hold it in place with your boot, and crush it with a swing from your hammer. Then you wake up, alone in the forest, shivering. The wound burns again. You ask the village priestess and herbalist. You tried many remedies and quaffed foul-smelling mixtures. Still, the wound festers, turning black. You try to fall asleep, but your mind dwells on what fate awaits you, and whether a thing like the one that killed you will emerge from your chest once you die. Okay, so Bior died at one point. So you lose 1. I lose 1 energy, and I gain a terror. Ugh. The prophetic dream caused Bior to lose a point of energy and gain a point of terror. Move the markers. Okay. After reading a dream or nightmare, continue the game. In this case, go to part 8, start of the day. Oh, so you can have nightmares. So when a character's terror is in the red zone of the terror track, so up at the very top, sleeping in locations with a night icon or whatever, a dreams icon, causes nightmares instead. It's probably not good. It's probably not good at all. Okay, so we do start of day just like before. So there are no expired menhirs. We don't do discard locations. There's no time things, but now the menhir turns to 6. Ooh, that is kind of so that we just see it just Anyway, We move Guardians, or well, there are no event cards. The event is here. Tired and in pain, you start the final leg of your journey. Sometimes event cards have an additional impact on the game. Remember to apply any rules you find on them. Okay, so then now we just do during the day stuff. Travel, so entering the Whitening, travel right to location 1, so I'm going to pay 1 energy after having some terrible night of sleep, and move into the Whitening, which I draw a blue encounter when I enter this location. This is an instant rule I must resolve as soon as I enter the location. The action instructs you to draw a blue encounter. Unlike your previous encounter, this is a diplomatic challenge. A very inquisitive guard stops you as you enter. So, blue, a suspicious guard. Okay, so there is an affinity track. This is what the guard kind of would look like if it had all the text on it. But essentially, it has an affinity check. If a marker is on top during the affinity check, I win. If it's on the bottom, I lose. Oh, okay, so you have kind of a marker that you put on the middle. But I'll read the rest of the stuff. Varying bonuses. Each, whatever symbol that is, I don't really know. It doesn't tell me, but there's a certain symbol. So essentially, that symbol, the swirly triangle, it gives you a bonus. Each of the bonus connected gives you that. Responses will happen after your every turn. Okay, so hey, I could get a reputation. Anyway. So, diplomatic encounters are similar to combat encounters. The main difference is that instead of gathering points in the combat pool, you will engage in a tug of war on the affinity track, visible on the left edge of the encounter card. Diplomatic encounters also don't have a combat table. Instead, they may have multiple stages. To win, you need to push the marker to the top of the affinity track. In each stage. Fortunately, this encounter only has 1 stage. Okay, so now I have the diplomatic overview. Draw 3 cards from the diplomacy deck. If I had 4 party members, I would draw 2. So, gotta draw my 3. Place the marker on the gray slot of the affinity track. It is the starting point, which I don't know if there's a specific marker for that. I think it's this red one, which now I wish those were kind of smaller, just for that. Okay, so my diplomacy is I can show off. Hey, guard, I know you're suspicious of me, but I'm a pretty badass guy. Then I also have backtrack. And Bior is, by the way, not diplomatic in any way. Like, at all. I have, so the things on the diplomatic side is spirituality, caution, and empathy. I have a bottom in caution, so, which makes sense for him, but it's like, hey, can I attack you instead? So, it tells me to play the Eye for Detail card. Only 1 key so basically doing that. Woo! So it says only 1 key connects. It has the symbol, which is so the caution key. In this stage, every one of those symbols that I mentioned, the twirly triangle things, indicates that it's going to move up. So it's like, I just moved that up 1. Yay! This means you move the marker on the affinity track 1 slot. Then I place an hourglass marker on it. And it has a delayed ability. It's time for the affinity check. The marker is not on the highest or lowest slot of the affinity track, so nothing happens. God. Alright, so alright. This is going to be a difficult one. Obviously, I'm hopefully slotted to win. This is interesting. So it says it's the same rules. So it looks like, are there bonus? There are bonus cards. Okay. So, interesting. Okay. So now the opponent responds because I can't play anything else. I mean, I technically could. I could play backtrack. It wouldn't help me at all, but it's like, it wouldn't help me. But I know it's going to later on probably. So the opponent responds, which is the skull symbol, so he's going to move it back down. I just walk and be like, well, I saw the meteor, and he's like, hey, We don't need your fucking kind. We're gonna die here. I should also read the flavor text. In ages past, this is for Hunter's Grove. In ages past, only the druids were allowed into the grove for good reason. This is now forgotten. Hey, maybe I should get the guy who huffs vapors, and he can go check that out. Then the Whitening. Once this place had another name and a busy market. Today, no one goes there. And there's, I can show the town, which was obviously hit with that meteor, it looks like, or it's covered in white whatever. Like, splooge has some goo on it. Gross. I can see why no one comes here. Okay, so then that ends the diplomatic turn. So then we go to we discard down to 3 and then we draw 1. So hey, that looks pretty good. So the new turn begins. Bjorn has something to take care of in the delayed ability step. So I would remove the marker, and then I would draw a card. Hey. So I guess if you cover in a delayed thing, it goes away. That's not terrible. So it says play Misdirection as your first card. The bottom connects with a 2 multiplier, gaining 2 moves up. So something like that. So like, and since they connect like that, this goes up 2. Hey, that's pretty good. Like I'm like, oh, hey, what's that over there? And I try to, I'm almost there. I'm almost in. Then it says because, well, actually, yeah. So those actually had a lot of bonus ones that I could have played. Then play Threatening Voice because it has a required, extra whatever that was called, a bonus action as its bottom key, 1 bonus action. So the Threatening Voice, the text on this card instructs you to lose 1 reputation, but you do not have anything, so nothing happens. So it looks like you can do things if you can't, like, some games are like, okay, you have to do the full ability, and if you can't, do as much as you can. So in this case, I would lose a reputation, because then I'm, like, trying to sneak in, he catches me, and I'm just like, listen, if you don't fucking let me in here, I will bash your brains in with this hammer. And so if the character has at least 2 aggression, which Bior does, move the slot up 1 affinity track. Yay! Perform the affinity check. The marker is now on the highest slot of the affinity track. This was the last and only stage, which means Bior wins and earns the reward, which means the reward was 1 reputation. Because I like that. I like how there's not like numbers. So combat, you have to meet the number at the top. In a pool, diplomacy, you have a track, a tug-of-war thing. That's pretty neat. Pretty neat. So put the encounter card at the bottom of the blue deck. So essentially my Threatening Voice caused him, and he was like, okay, fine, jeez, dude. And then all played, drawn, and discarded cards go into the deck, and it gets shuffled. And if you want to play this, okay, so I could do this again, but it's pretty straightforward. Like if his thing hits the bottom, then you lose, and there's a lose thing. I put that in Magic anyway. I have a reputation. It might not be good, but I have a reputation. So, entering the Whitening. In part 1 of this tutorial, Airfear asked Bior to bring him a meteorite ingot from the Whitening, so it's time to explore this location. Neat. So, I mean, obviously, I'd be shy. Like, I don't know why they gave you all these. Well, all these cards are actually going to decks in the other game. So, I'm going to spend 1 energy to check this place out. The Whitening. The hole is here, as always, gaping at the heart of Whitening. The white lichen that gave its new name seems to grow out of it. It covers the walls of the nearby halls with a thick coat. Only close-up one can discover it is, in fact, a layer of small sparkling crystals, like sea salt on the wooden posts of a pier. As you inspect it, several people watch you suspiciously. I shrug my arms to show them I'm not interested in their secrets. It's like, dude, this place is a shithole. I'm also from another shithole, but at least we don't have a hole in our buildings. So then it says, go to verse 7. There is no lost love between Connacht and the Whitening. You shouldn't stay here too long. So I can visit the villager, or visit the village tanner, or ask Whiteners about their menhir. Ooh. Why not? I'll ask them about their menhir. Hey, what's going on with yours? So then I go to verse 5. Your questions spur no kindness. So instead of relying on them, you approach the guardian menhir to see it for yourself. It looks like the one in your town, but something is off. The sensation you experience around Connacht's monument, as indescribable feeling that the world is suddenly more in focus, is gone. So the rumors were true. Whitening's menhir is now a dead piece of stone. Well, I would gain 1 insanity and 1 XP. Alright. Then I go back to verse 7, so now I can go visit the village tanner. I ask around about the tanner Airfare wanted you to find, and draw some strange looks. Finally, someone tells you this man moved out several months ago. Angry and confused, you reach the tannery, only to find the building abandoned and covered in cobwebs. What's going on? Was this a cruel joke? So, I gain 1 insanity. That's not good. I probably shouldn't have. And I gain part 2 of the surprising errand, surprising status. So I have part 1, which was a mysterious thing. Now I have part 2. Gain a point of insanity, then mark the second part of the status on the tutorial save sheet and continue the scenario. So, back to part 13. Maybe what is going on? Like I'm legitimately confused. Like I died in Hunter's Grove apparently, and then I had a dream about my death. Some disgusting creature. What was it? Some beating heart on countless legs of blackened veins and arteries that ran and tried to claw into my chest. I guess that's what killed me. And now I'm finding out that my master is a huge dick? Neat. Anyway, so the way back. You have to go back to Connacht fast. Travel to Hunter's Grove as before. Perform a travel action, pay 1, and move Bior to location 102. So there's that. So, boom. Go to Hunter's Grove. And Bior only has 2 left, just like the day before, but this time Bior wants to travel as fast as possible, even at the cost of exerting himself. So I perform another travel, which gets me into the 1. And so then I move back into the farmland. Bior is now back in his hometown, exhausted. Take a look. So he has a negative trait, so I lose 1 health. Thanks, dude. Tired and in pain, Bior is ready to conclude his journey, so I pay 1 to explore the area, which gets me to 0. As before, go directly to the tutorial's explanation thing. So, now I can complete my mission, and it requires part 2 of the surprising errand status, which I just got. You enter Connacht exhausted and in pain, yet even in this condition, you quickly realize something happened in your absence. Many sad-eyed townsfolk walk the streets or argue in small groups. Startled, you look towards the menhir, but it seems fine, surrounded by ribbons flapping in the wind. There's no weirdness in Connacht, so what could draw all these people out of their houses? As you approach the forge, you almost stumble upon the boy who usually delivered Ifir's messages. They're gone, the boy tells you. They left at the break of day. Ifir wants you to take care of his workshop. You stumble into the building only to find it empty, save for a note lying on the workbench, held securely in place by a heavy ingot of star iron. 3 times you attempt to read the parchment, your eyes watering with helpless rage. It says Urfir left Connacht without you, traveling with Lord Yvain, Fail, Aubert, and Niant. They headed for Camelot, spelled with a K, where they hope to find help for your town. You were deemed too weak for this journey. Not good enough. Oh. Come on, is it just because of the black heart that killed me and I was revived by some demonic ritual? I mean, come on. In fact, that's a bonus. As silent rage grows within you, gone are the exhaustion and the pain. You leave the forge and look to the east. Somewhere there, behind rolling mists, clouds of weirdness, and dangerous trails, the Connacht champions journey on. You're sure you will find them. Each party member gains 1 insanity. Congratulations, you have finished the tutorial scenario. You will find Ifir's letter in the game box. It will prepare you for the first chapter of the Fall of Avalon campaign. Good luck in the bleak world of Tainted Grail. So, it says important. While this tutorial gives players a general grasp of the game, there are many additional rules it does not cover, such as parties and party actions, event cards, chapter setup, legacy locations, encounter traits, and so on. So obviously I'll be reading the rules, but in Tainted Grail, save sheets are used both for saving your campaign state and holding different story triggers that change how locations and non-player characters respond to you. Below, you can find the only status used in the tutorial game. It has 2 parts. If you just gain part 1, mark the box 1. If you gain part 2, mark the second box. And that's it, everyone. That is the tutorial for Tainted Grail. I need to... yeah, it's at the very, very back. Where is it? There we go. So definitely check out the series that I'll be doing for this. It will most likely just be me because that's way easier to do. But first impressions, I'll definitely do a discussion for this after playing the real game. But first impressions is this game is going to be fucking phenomenal. I can already tell. Like I think the combat system and diplomacy are super innovative, and I think that's going to be exciting. That's going to be your card play. It doesn't seem like there's really going to be any luck. It looks like you can hone and do a little bit of deck building. A lot of interesting things that you can look at and go deal with based off this giant exploration journal. It has 800 scenarios. There are 15 chapters in the game, in the core game. That sounds like it's probably going to be a lot. So I'm very, very excited to get this started. I think that's really interesting in terms of just the tutorial had some really cool concepts with the death, and I like how they incorporate his wound. That could have been just the tutorial, how it incorporated his wound and stuff, but yeah, like it's really exciting. Like I'm glad that they didn't do they didn't have you flip any of these cards, so these will be involved in the actual game. Most likely starting from here, and then I can go and actually explore these, and it just seems really, really neat. Like very, very little luck, and I can't wait. So, hell, there were some encounters here for your first encounter, which the tutorial didn't take you to. But I guess if you went to the where was it? If you went to the Charred Conclave and did a gray encounter, it would have been a misshaped vermin. Another misshaped vermin, and it looks like it's the exact same. And there was another one for the purple encounter. I guess. Oh, and there are dice, so you can go on treasure hunts at the Forest Dweller Mounds. So treasure hunt, gain 1 mental or 1 terror, 1 wealth, and roll a die. If the result is 6, then you read verse 4 for that area. I wonder if that was even in the tutorial thing. They had the whitening. Nope, it was just those 3, so that's actually something to do in the encounter book. Okay, so it looks like it was just these 3. Like there were 3 misshapen vermins and then a suspicious guard. But yeah, I think that this is gonna be super, super neat. And that's it, everyone. Like I said, hope you enjoyed, and I definitely stick around for the series, for Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this, and if you like this video, then click the subscribe button below to enjoy any video that I put out. And right next to that subscribe button is a little bell. Click that so you get notified of whenever I actually upload these videos. If you want to support the channel, you can definitely visit my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.